Hello and welcome to our lesson on the Lord's Prayer. This will be the first lesson in a series of three. One of the questions that I often receive from people is, how do you pray? How do you pray? Well, the disciples actually asked the Lord that question too. And that's why he gave us the pattern for the Lord's Prayer. And yet people still seem to be confused about this matter of prayer. And it really isn't as complicated as people want to make it. It really isn't. Basically, prayer is just talking to God as you would to a friend. And we're going to look at Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 through 15, that talks about how to pray. First of all, and this is Jesus talking, he said, "When you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, that they may be seen by others." Can you just picture them? What is a hypocrite, by the way? Well, a hypocrite is a person who puts on a false appearance of virtue or religion. A person who acts in a way that is contrary to what he or she says their beliefs or feelings are. A hypocrite would be a person who attends church every Sunday, maybe even sings in the choir or serves in a capacity as some kind of a leader in the church, but then all through the week, they don't give another thought about their relationship with Christ. They don't look at their Bible. They don't pray. They maybe tell dirty jokes. They use bad language. Their life doesn't reflect what they show on Sunday that it is. That's a hypocrite. And these Pharisees, or these people, Jesus called hypocrites. They were Pharisees. Standing on the corners of the street, praying loud prayers, and in the synagogue where their voices would resonate. And it says, well, truly I say to you, they have their reward. What is their reward? Well, it's a false reward, isn't it? It's a reward that in their own puffed up, arrogant way, they think people are admiring them because of their nice, beautiful, audible prayers. And Jesus said, no, that's not it. That's not how you're supposed to pray. That's being hypocritical. And he says, but when you pray, go into your room, shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Have you seen the movie The War Room? If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. In this movie, Miss Clara is a prayer warrior. She actually has in her house a little closet that she has made that is her little place to go and have prayer. Now, some people do this. I think there's people that have done that since the movie, have set up their little prayer room, and that's a good thing. However, it isn't just a place, although a place is nice. It isn't just a place you go. You can have your own private conversation with God, your own secret conversation with God, wherever you are. You can be sitting in a classroom. You can be riding in a car. You can be walking down the street. I have wonderful times of prayer personally myself when I'm doing my exercise, maybe going for a walk. It's a great time to pray, but I'm just by myself with God, just the two of us carrying on a conversation. And that's how we're supposed to pray. And it says the Father who sees that in secret, he will reward you. And then he says in verse 7, when you pray, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. Don't be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. This is talking about people who just pray a long prayer with the idea that if they pray long enough, maybe they'll get God's attention. And maybe he'll answer their prayer if they put in the time and spend a long time in prayer, praying a long prayer. And that's what Jesus said. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. They think for their many words they're going to be heard. No, that's not the way it works. You ever have an experience where in school where the teacher assigned you a paper to write, and let's say it was supposed to be 250 words. She wanted you to respond to a certain thing, 250 words. And you think, boy, I'm going to really impress my teacher. I'm going to give her more than that. So you write one that's 500 words. And you get marked down in a grade for that because you did not give the number of words that she asked for. It was, you gave more trying to impress her with your great number of words. Well, that's the way it is with God. He's not impressed by our great number of words. He's impressed by what's in our heart. He's impressed by the humbleness and the genuineness of our conversation with him. He says, don't be like the people that just long, lengthy prayers so they can get my attention. Because God knows what you need before you even ask him. Isn't that wonderful to know that? But now that doesn't mean that we're not supposed to ask and seek and knock. Jesus said in fact in the next chapter, in Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, he said, ask and it would be given you. And the word for ask means keep on asking. It doesn't mean just ask once and be done with it. No, it has the connotation of keeping on. Just keep on asking for that which you need. Keep on seeking. How do we seek him? We seek him in prayer. We seek him in the Word of God, being into the Word of God, the Bible, and keep on knocking. Keep on knocking on the door. And he says it will be open. So we have to keep asking and seeking and knocking. But we do so with a humble attitude, not with the idea that if we say enough words, we're going to get his attention and then he's going to answer. He's looking at our heart. And we can talk to him just as we talk to a friend. And next lesson, we're going to get into the actual pattern that Jesus gave us to pray, and what we call the Lord's Prayer.